Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I am Jeremy, and this is the Financial Education Channel. So today we are talking about what is an entrepreneur? What does entrepreneurship mean? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you my definition. I'm not going to search out of the dictionary and give you the dictionary of entrepreneur and what entrepreneurship means and those things. I'm going to give you what comes from my sense of being. I'm an entrepreneur. What's it mean to me to be an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur, in my opinion, is someone who wants to work, make money for a living, but wants to do it on their terms. They don't want to have a direct boss that's controlling their day, controlling everything that happens. They want to, how do you say it? They want to strive to be the best they can. They all don't necessarily want to take over the world and become millionaires and all those things. A lot of entrepreneurs just want to be their own boss. Be their own boss. Control their own destiny. Not have to deal with the hierarchy of working for a big company or any company for that matter. That's what it means to me. Now, I also want to go into some pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. So, being an entrepreneur, like I talked about, it's a beautiful thing to be able to control your own destiny. I can control how much business I have based upon how many emails I send out to customers, based upon how good of a job I do for my customers, those kinds of things. I don't have to wait to get a promotion because, or to make more money and get promoted because there's no one there to promote me. I'm my own promoter. That is a great thing. It's also a bad thing in the respect that if you work a job and you work for a company, your future is mostly guaranteed there. Now, of course, there can be layoffs. Of course, a company can go bankrupt, those kinds of things. But most big companies you work for, you're going to have a steady stream of income. If you made $1,000 last week, you're going to make $1,000 this week, and you're going to make that same amount every week until you get your next raise, hopefully, or you make less in the future. But it's mostly guaranteed. When you own your own business, that's not guaranteed. For instance, I'm in the real estate industry. So I do videos, I do photos, I do everything that has to do with marketing for real estate companies. If something really bad happened in the real estate market, like we had in 2008, 2007, 2009, that could hurt my business drastically, which would hurt my income drastically. So therefore, my future is not as guaranteed as maybe if you work at Walmart and you're a cashier or an assistant manager or something. Now, another pro is, like I said, you are your own boss. There's only one person I have to listen to. Well, there's a lot of people I have to listen to, but there's only one person, and it's my customers. Let's say I'm doing my old job where I was a manager for a retailer. Well, there I had to listen to all the problems of all the customers who, and have to deal with all that. I would have the boss, whoever's higher above me that is telling me, oh, you're not doing this right, doing that right, you need to do this, do that. And I would have employees that I would have to deal with, people that are under me that I have to control and whatnot. Now I own my own business. I only have to deal with one of those three, and it's the customers. Problem solving for them, making sure they're happy and those kinds of things. I don't have someone telling me, you need to do this, you're doing this wrong, you need to do this right, those kinds of things, and I don't have any employees. Someday I may have employees, and that will be step 2 I have to take, and I have to manage employees. But no matter what, since I own my own company, I'll never have someone above me barking out orders telling me what to do. I control my own destiny. I go as far as I want to go. Another pro to be an entrepreneur is I actually just got back from vacation. Now, vacations, you can pretty much plan them when you want when you're an entrepreneur. I can just say, hey, I'm going away this time and this time, so I'm not booking any jobs. That's pretty easy in my profession. Now, there are other parts of being an entrepreneur in other businesses where it may be hard to go on vacation. It actually might be easier if you work for a company as far as going on vacation because it's a job where you need to be there every week or those kinds of things. So that could be a pro and a con depending on what type of entrepreneur you are. Let's see. Income. I talked a little bit about this. I talked a little bit about the con side, but also the pro side. I can make a lot more in my business because I don't have to split the money with anybody. Let's say you work for a retailer, okay? Every transaction that goes through, some of that money gets paid to you, right? Because you make an hourly wage or whatnot. Some of that money gets paid to your coworkers, somebody that stocks the shelves, the truck driver, the manager, that manager's manager, that manager's manager, the vice presidents, the CEO, the CFO, the COO. Some of this money's getting divided to everybody, the shareholders, because they're paying out dividends to the shareholders. Money's going all over the place, so you only get a teeny bit. If you own your own retail store, though, you run a transaction, you get all the profits of that. Because if you're the only employee there, you're the one that stocks the shelves, you're the one that does this, does that, does this, you get 100% of the profits. That's a beautiful thing because you don't have shareholders. You're the only shareholder of the business. You don't have a bunch of managers to pay out, a bunch of vice presidents, of CFO, CEO, because you do it all. You don't have a bunch of other employees to pay out. So you can make a lot more money doing a lot less transactions than another retail store or any business. You can make so much more money being an entrepreneur because you're not splitting it with this guy and this guy and this chick and this chick. It's all going straight to you. Now, as a business grows, you're probably going to hire in employees and then the money's going to start getting split up a bit. But at that time, you're probably doing such a large volume that you don't care as much about paying this out and paying this out to this person because you're making a lot of money. So I think that pretty much wraps up a lot of pros and cons. I could talk for days about different pros and cons of it. I wanted to give you the most important pros and cons of being an entrepreneur, what being an entrepreneur means. I hope you guys have a good gist of it. Entrepreneurship, it's not for everybody. It's an uncertain future and it's scary to jump in. And generally the first few months of being an entrepreneur are really tough because you're going to have a hard time making it out there. Very few will start a business right off the bat and it's a smashing success. Usually it takes months to get to that point, if not years. So it's not for everybody. It's an uncertain future and it's not easy. But it's highly rewarding. Highly rewarding. And I recommend it if you have that type of personality that you can go out there and do it. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And you know what, guys? Have a great day.